Alright, looks like we're up and running. That is good. Looks like no troubles with the connection. That's also good. Yeah, hello everyone. This is Arafon playing Commander Keen in Aliens Ate My Babysitter, otherwise known as Episode 6 of the Commander Keen series, in which Commander Keen's babysitter has been abducted by aliens that want to have her for dinner, and not as a guest. Not quite sure why they did this, or why they're taking so long to actually eat her. But yeah, last week there was no stream because our internet was dead. It's since been fixed. We should have a faster, more reliable connection now, which is always a good thing. Yeah, I think we've done everything out this way. Yeah, last time I was saying that I thought we could go pretty much any direction, and turns out that was not true. We had to clear one of these levels to get this grappling hook, which has since been used, so it's now showing as grayed out. Yeah, and YouTube's still giving me that not receiving enough video to retain smooth streaming warning. Anyway, we used the grappling hook up here to get to up here, so yeah. Now is where things start branching out a bit again. But yeah, until getting that, only the levels over to the right were actually available. So let's see, here we have, what's that standard galactic level? Let's say BMI? Somehow I don't think that's body mass index. Up here is a BT? So, Boog Tower, maybe? This might be like Boog Manufacturing Industries, perhaps? There's a level on the way there. So yeah, there's probably something important than that level. This one probably just gets in your way, and this one looks forbidding. So let's give it a look. Big spiky dome with a "Don't Come Here" hand on it. Queen foolishly enters the blue dome. Okay. That's not a good start. Okay, 4 shots will take them down. Yeah, I did get the impression the shot was doing something, but... yeah, you can't bounce high enough there, even with the impossible hooker trick. And not here either. There's an ice cream sundae. Those, I believe, were a lot of points. Just trying to get to the soda. Yeah, sometimes that grabbing the edge of a platform thing is more trouble than it's worth. Okay, it doesn't seem to be anything else there. We're here. Yeah, that's too high. That's a use, so we want this up. Yeah, that'll activate this. But I want to go down and grab the ice cream. I was hoping I could grab back onto the edge of the ledge there, but that didn't work. But it's fairly simple to get back up there, so no big deal. That was cutting out a little close. Let's see, will I need to go to the left to get past that? Not like that. We're not off to a great start, but it happens sometimes. I'm feeling a bit chill right now, so I don't care. Yeah, so it is just 100, so barely worth going for. That's just bad playing, though. Yeah, that's too many deaths too quickly. Loading. Okay, time to get my head in the game. And again, it does say it's foolish to come in here. That's all solid. And this is giving me a decent amount of ammo right away. Not sure how I didn't hit the switch that first time. Alright, the lift should come back down here, because it started here to begin with. I could just stay to the right here. Yeah, that's one of the pushy guys. We'll stun it so it can't do any more pushing. And dodge that by sheer luck and reflex. Alright, the Blog sphere. Is that like the blog sphere? Isn't that what they called it? The blogosphere? The world of blogs, basically. This is just some bonus stuff. Pretty much have to shoot that guy to get past him. I think I could fall down the side of that. Yeah, that wasn't too difficult to get. Yeah, that does good to pizza. Yeah, this looks so silly and harmless until they charge at you. Which I'm sure is the point. Yeah, what's up with that one popsicle, though? Seems like you need to do the impossible pogo trick just to get to it. And there's one of those jumps that shouldn't be physically possible, but platforming characters are often not subject to real-world physics. And it's a good team, too, because if you are subject to real physics, it doesn't feel right. That's not as bad as it could be. Although, that's an awfully stupid way to die. You get past the thing that's supposed to be a death trap and then miss the big wall of platforms. Yeah, you fall between those pretty easily. These, I mean. Not the platforms. The platforms, I was just being careless. Okay, I want to try falling down here. Nope, maybe on the other side. Yeah, you can just jump out of that pretty easily. Okay, let's try this from the left side. Can you fall down there? Or do you have to get to it from below? Okay, you have to do that. At least it seems like it. Because I think what happens if you just walk off the platform is you have too much momentum. So you need to jump and fall straight down. Alright, here we just stay to the right, we're safe. And the platforms were timed just wrong. Alright, more stuff to the right here. I think you need to pogo up to that. Which is tricky, but not impossible. Although it helps if you actually pogo properly. But yeah, you need to do something like that, but with the pogo. There we go. Oh, right, spike. For some reason I thought that was a bonus item. Okay, so here... Do I want to try to jump over that? Let's give it a try. Yeah, no, that does not work. Yeah, sometimes it's difficult to tell what the game wants from you. But I think here I actually want to go down there. Nope, not like that. Okay, so maybe just fall down right next to the spikes, like this. Yeah, I can't get up there from here. Yeah, can I bait that into jumping off the level? Not quite. And they're still deadly when they're flipped upside down. Probably because their legs act like spikes. Alright, so just fall here. Don't worry about the top soda. Let's save again here. I'm being overly cautious, but considering all the stupid deaths I have, there's a reason for it. Okay, no, you can't shoot it when it's doing that. Alright, that we went up. This we also went up. Okay, that does summon a lift. What? Okay, they use coyote physics, apparently. Where they're too dumb to realize they've run out over nothing and... I wonder if I could shoot down to stun it when it's the flippy thing, when it's flipped upside down. That feels like something that should work. wasting shots. Yeah, they charge out into nothing, get confused for a bit, and then fall. Which could be a useful way to bait them in some places, but here it's just in my way. Oh, and that stuns it. Honestly, that makes sense. How did I get to that, though? Can't shoot up here? Yeah, it looks like they only charge when you shoot them. So if you have one that's pretty much just out of the way, you may be better off ignoring it. Okay, we've got lift down there. There's eyes in the wall. There's a pizza there that looks very awkward to get to. I think you need to jump on the platform when it's going down. No, that's safe. I was expecting a death pit here, to be honest. But it's possibly the safest place in the level. But yeah, this is looking like an optional bonus stage. Yeah, I knew that would happen. Which raises the question of why I didn't save first. Alright, so it'll charge out there, and then it should fall and stun itself. Not even. Maybe I despawned it. Or maybe by running out too quickly, it kept it from charging off. Do you need to keep it on screen for it? Never mind. That was weird. Okay, they do charge if they see you. But they're not as aggressive as you'd think. Yeah, there's no way you can ride that platform through there. Let's watch what that platform is doing up there. Just kind of going across. And then it goes up and kind of circles around and comes back down, I think. Maybe not. I think these are two different tracks these platforms are on. Yeah, this one circles back and forth between here and there. The other one does a bigger circle. Alright, so here, where I should have saved last time. Yeah, you need to kind of jump sideways with a little jump like that. Can I jump high enough to get to that? I don't think so. Yeah, you need to do it this way. Is there something in the wall there, or is it just the eyeballs kind of half in it in the background? Yeah, it's just the eyeballs kind of half in the background. No, the eyeball is fully in the background, it's just halfway into the wall. That makes it look like there's a little passage there, but no. Yeah, you get shoved off the platform as it runs into the wall there. So here. If I want the pizza up there, I need to jump on a platform and probably bounce up. Oh. But yeah, this is looking like purely a bonus points and ammo stage, and not at all progression. Yeah, that's why that's there. And I could have just exited earlier, but I feel like exploring the whole level. I think I want to kind of... not like that. No, you can ride this pretty easily. But yeah, there's a lot of bonus stuff down here, but that's about it. Yeah, I want to give at least an honest try to getting the pizza up there. That is not it. The problem is there's no headroom here. So it's not quite impossible to jump, but a lot more difficult than it feels like it should be. Yeah, I pulled back a little too quickly. So you need to get enough distance to clear that without going past the platform. There we go. And now I need to go back up. Right, I didn't bother studying that because it's not really in the way. Yeah, how did you get up there? Yeah, I remember that being there. Okay, time to jump cheat. thought you would need to fall from somewhere, but apparently not. Can you actually pogo to that? No, I don't think so. Yeah, how would you get here? Is it even possible to get here legitimately? As I'm not finding any hollow walls. There's no way you can get there from the right. There's no way you can drop down to it. There's no way, even with a pogo, you can get all the way up there. Can you maybe go through the ceiling here? No? Okay, apparently you can ride on these when they're not flipped upside down. Okay then. That was a bit of a weird level. Let's make sure jump cheat is off before proceeding into whatever BMI is. Gluten manufacturing. 3 hits. And they can stun you by smashing the club into the ground. And it doesn't even need to quite hit the ground. The stun happens slightly before that. Yeah, these are my enemies. Can I stun it like that? Yeah, but how do I get that gem safely? Yeah, like I said, that's an enemy. Yeah, I don't think I can jump over that, so what's the trick? And these aren't like the things in Half-Life that grab you and pull you up without killing you. As soon as the ton touches you, you're dead. You can do that, but I don't see how that helps me get to the gem. That wants to be down. Yeah, and we're getting the Zargon-sounding industrial music. Alright, this is for a 1-up, so I'm not going to bother. I'm kind of cheesing 1-ups anyway by saving so much. But again, I'm not sure how I'd get across to that safely. Maybe there's a lift at some point that will kind of go sideways here. Also sounds a bit like Doom music, come to think of it. I know there's a weird glitch where you can ride your own shots, but I think that's only upward. I don't think it's to the side. And of course, being a weird glitch, it's not intended. This is one of the levels that's basically just in the way. Yeah, I feel like I'm going to need that yellow gem at some point, but again, I'm not sure how to get to it. Unless there's a way to get a lift in there. They're violent and dangerous, but they're so stupid they're almost cute. I have the green gem, right? Yeah. Yeah, and platforming on this slopes feels weird. Can't grab the edge, and sometimes when you're going off the side it feels a bit off. Alright, this is D. Of course. It was already up, so of course we want it down. Yep, there's a lot of levels to explore here, and not much structure to it. Yeah, something weird was happening with the edge of the platform there, and you do need the yellow gem to exit. Alright, so this wants to be down. I don't think that's high enough to get to the left. This also wants to be down. There's some pizza down there. Okay, I just fell half the level. Yeah, you can't go up to that because you can't grab the edge. It's kind of amazing how important edge grabbing is to the platforming in this game. Yeah, I don't know how you get to that pizza. It feels like the pogo doesn't quite go high. Oh, there's a platform here now. I guess one of the switches must have done it. Alright, and I will save just in case something goes wrong with the... Yeah, those burny, spiky things. That's just the entrance, it's not a door you can go through. There may be something that puts a platform in that other thing too, but if there is, I haven't found it. Could that be what's in the top left? Where I couldn't figure out how to get in? I have a feeling that's what it is. think I'm trying to hit the two buttons too close to simultaneous, and you have to pogo slightly before hitting jump. Because you need the pogo active before you can do the high bounce. Yeah, I think that would get me up to the pizza if I aimed it right. Give it one more try. No, that didn't do. I feel like I didn't get a good bounce that time. Probably wasn't quite close enough to the edge, and there you can't just do that, you have to... Yeah, I don't like these sloped platforms. They just don't feel right. Yeah, that's how you get the pizza. Yeah, there's some definite jank going on there. Speaking of jank. Yeah, you have to do something really awkward like that. Yeah, this one's not moving. Is there just a switch I missed somewhere? Wait, this is moving now. Yeah, I'm not getting that shot. Right, this one wants to be down. That's still not moving. Alright, let's try... I think the rest of the level is pretty much safe at the moment. Yeah, there's a thing in here now. I think you need to... Yeah, you need a duck. Yeah, those are weirdly difficult to get. Yeah, you need to make sure you're positioned far enough to the left so you don't run into those here. And then you need to duck here. Alright. We've already seen everything, so let's just jump back up. Oh, there was this that I think... Yeah, wasn't there a lift here earlier? I think the switch actually moved it across the level. Okay, cheats off. And the exit is just here. And you could presumably jump over those to get to the... They look like root beer floats. But it's not worth it. Okay, there's another level here. It looks like it's going to be a pretty big one, so I think I'm going to stop here for now. Just see what the level's called and what it looks like. Yeah, Bleakton Tower. Almost seems like an office building. And I assume I'll need to activate more switches to make that go higher. And it sounds like the music's looping already. Okay, yeah, we'll leave this for next time. It's that we had one level that was overly difficult and one level that seems overly large. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Regardless, this has been Airphone playing Commander Keen in Aliens Ate My Babysitter, in which we try to keep that from happening. Yep, the whole playthrough up to this point will be in the archive, so feel free to check that out, as well as everything else. I mostly do DOS and Super Nintendo games, with some occasional other stuff when I feel like it. Oh, and Atari. So, yeah. Currently posting on Mondays and Thursdays is a indie Japanese RPG with H content I'm avoiding for the most part, and obviously not putting a video, called Lady Night Saga. And we are up to month 6, I believe, of, I forget whether it's 8 or 9, but the later months do have more content and are longer, so yeah. Might be about halfway through the game at this point. Not really sure. Regardless, feel free to check that out or to come back next week for more Commander Keen. And enjoy your weekend. Yeah, that Luke sounds so awkward.